Ladies and gentlemen, this is an introduction video about communication. We ask you to stay seated and tie the safety belt before this interesting travel through communication. The first part starts with symbolic interactionism. Humans act toward things on the basis of the meanings they ascribe to those things. In this video clip we'll see a man approaching furiously a woman. She is scared by his reaction while he wants just to hug her. She is scared by his expression and actions, representing a coming danger. This is a natural interpretation. The next video clip show how people interpret non-verbal messages, especially in Western culture. Showing outstretched hand means handshaking, so it's easy to image that every individual seeing an outstretched hand he or she will shake it. In case of a different culture there can be problems in the perception of the symbolic interaction. We will see a man wanting a hug and a woman from a different culture pushing him away, not understanding his desire. Here is the example of breaching experiment that seeks to examine people's reactions to violations of commonly accepted social rules or norms. Breaching experiments involve the conscious exhibition of unexpected behavior or violation of social norms, an observation of the types of social reactions such behavioral violations engender, and an analysis of the social structure that makes these social reactions possible.
Hej, vad säger kärleksdagen?
Kom med nu. Andliga líkamann.
Bara vad säger kärleksdagen?
Andliga líkamann. Þú skilur þetta betur eða?
Hvað segir kærastan?
Hvað ertu að meina? Andliga líkamann.
The second part is represented by dramaturgy. In a dramaturgical model, social interaction is analyzed in terms of how people live their lives like actors performing on a stage. This analysis offers a look at the concepts of status and roles. The fundamentals of this model are represented by front stage.
Va? Vilket flott hår! Oh my god, jag älskar håret ditt.
We are expected to put on a costume and act different when in front of the audience, as a group. Backstage.
Ja, vad är fucking hatt och honans? Vaka håret när ligger mest.
The performer can relax. He can drop his front, forget speaking in his lines, and step out of character. Outside. The outside is where individual actors meet a member or members of the audience and act differently.
Oh my god, sås det håret hörni? Tar alltid med sig. Jag bara släkt.
Depending on the relation with the interlocutor, independently of the team performance on the front stage. The third part is represented by language, proximity, contacts. Human language has the properties of productivity and displacement, and relies entirely on social convention and learning. Its complex structure affords a much wider range of expressions than any known system of animal communication. A formal language in this sense is a system of signs for encoding and decoding information.
Yeah, Helena. Intresserar vi har något som dig
Ég skil bara núna hvað þú segir sko.
som lät danska för oss skaffa det med eller det
Ekkert sko. Bara ekki neitt.
som lät dansk.
It is easy to understand how not knowing how to decode informations coming from a different language we can't understand the message.
Hej, vad säger du?
Svo ég veit sko hvað þú.
Ja, vi natt måste jag vara ute.
Já, það er svona freka tónlist.
Personal space is the region surrounding a person. A big part of people value their personal space and feel uncomfortable or anxious when their personal space is violated. In modern society, it can be difficult to maintain personal space.
Hej, hej. Helena.
There are distances established depending on the relation between the person and the interlocutor that must not be violated to keep everyone comfortable. Men and women have different reaction and perceive things differently. Depending on who is and what that person means for us, our reactions change and change the way in how we perceive that action. Touching can get different reaction depending on the sex and the level of acquaintance. Furthermore, there are different reaction depending on our sex. So a man would react in a way to be touched and, for sure, a woman would react differently. Close friend of the opposite sex. Here it's shown the highest level of similarity in this field. Men like to be touched almost everywhere by a female close friend.
Hej.
Finding less pleasant but still acceptable being touched the head and lower legs. Women like to be touched everywhere by a male close friend.
Hej.
Close friend of the same sex. Men hate to be touched face and genital area by a close male friend while they find that being touched in the rest of their body is pleasant. Women like to be touched just in the head and arms. Hate being touched the chest and the genital area, while are emotionless for the rest of their body.